Hi guys, it's Charli Wall here, and it's Friday morning where I am, and this is my weekly question of the week. So welcome. I'm just going to share this into my group. She Connects. The topic of this week that came up in the group was self-doubt. Self-doubt. So I'm guessing the reason I chose this one is because I'm guessing. Good morning, Mandy. Lovely to see you. I'm guessing that loads of you have experience of self-doubt in your life. If you do, give me a thumbs up or comment below. If you've come in, give me a comment and say hello. I know from my own personal experience that over the years I've experienced huge self-doubt, and that kind of manifested in many different ways in my life. But I'm just going to try and find the question that was posted so that I can just exactly know what was said. But essentially, the lady in question was talking about self-doubt, and she was asking for some words of wisdom. And what she said is, can you share your techniques on self-doubt, please? I find that my core belief is that I'm not good enough. And even though I know that's not always the case, I find that when I deal with shitty people who tell me this or don't value me, it really impacts me. This must be because somewhere inside I believe it to be true. And so I just wanted to thank the lady for posting the question in my group. And I wanted to just talk to that today on our question of the week, because I figured that loads of people have experienced issues with self-doubt and their experience of other people may have said something or may do something, and we take it to mean something about us, which is usually that we're not good enough, which is essentially what this lady's saying in here. What she also says is, I find that my core belief is that I'm not good enough, and even though I know that's not always the case. Now, what's interesting about that part of the question is that what this lady is essentially saying is that she knows she is good enough. And I think we all have that within us. That's the belief. That's where I'm coming from. That's the work I do with my clients, is that I know and I see everyone as whole, everyone as perfect, everyone having mental health, innate mental health and well-being. That's my understanding. That's the understanding that's changed my life in terms of how I move through my life and how I see my experience of life. So it's gotten me to a place of clarity and calmness and a sense of knowing that I am good enough. And that's the message. That's the fundamental message for me with my tribe, with my online group. And I'm aware from myself and all of my years' experience of life and of coaching people through 24 years of coaching people, that self-doubt can be like one of the biggest influences in stopping us from moving forwards, or stopping us from talking out loud, or stopping us from doing something that we really want to do. And like, if I just use these Facebook lives as an example, I've had my Facebook group for years. I've had a Facebook group for years and years and years. And before that, I had a membership site before groups were what they are now on Facebook. And probably about a year ago, I started doing little Facebook lives in the group, just in the group, to the women in the group. And I was really frightened about doing them here on a public forum, on my public business page. And I was full of self-doubt about that. So if I just take that as an example, my experience was, I'll look stupid. I might say something wrong. I might be questioned. I might be trolled. People might see it that I don't want to see it. And I basically had layers upon layers upon layers of thought around doing this Facebook Live, which is like, now I'm doing it, and I've done it many times now on the group. It's nothing. And what I had was a load of insecure thinking around just doing this Facebook Live on my business page. I felt vulnerable, and I still do. It's just that I'm okay with it now. And I doubted myself. I doubted my ability. I doubted my knowledge. And I doubted that I had a message that people would even want to hear. So there was loads and loads and loads of elements around the self-doubt. And I think that comes across, or it can affect our lives in so many different ways. And we believe the thought. So if I just use this one example, there was a thought of fear. There was a fear of being seen publicly. There was a fear of what I actually look like on the screen. Because if you've done these Facebook Lives, you know you actually have to look at yourself, which is triggering for a lot of people because they don't like looking at themselves. They don't like hearing their own voice. There's loads of things around that for people. The self-doubt was that I wasn't knowledgeable enough, even though, like, the truth of the matter is I've had 24 years experience coaching people. 24. That's a lot. I've had an awful lot of life experience, and I've got so many qualifications I can't even list them all. And that's another sort of factor of self-doubt, is that I just kept doing more qualifications, because I thought, hi Pope, how are you? I thought, if I just get that one more qualification, then I'll be good enough. And this went on and on and on and on and on, on and on. To now, where I've kind of reached a point where I think, no, it's okay. I've got enough qualifications. I'm a good enough coach. But prior to coming on and doing these Facebook Lives on my business page, those were the thoughts that I was having, and it was all pointing to self-doubt. You're not good enough, right? That's kind of the basis for all of it. And it's what this lovely lady says in here. What I want to point you to, though, is that underneath all that crap, underneath all of those thoughts, there's something else. There's something else going on. There's the you behind all of that. There's the you that's can feel your thinking. There's the you that was the you when you were 4 years old, 5 years old, 6 years old, that probably had very different thoughts, that probably had a very different body and a different way of kind of navigating through the world. And then the you as a teenager, exactly the same, different thoughts, different body. That's when we probably start to get more self-doubts, as we become aware of other people and comparison and judgment, and we take it very personally. And of course we feel like this is our experience. And then, you know, as we move on up through the years of our lives, if we're lucky enough to still be here, which I am, but I know a lot of people aren't, the you that's always been there, if you think about that, the little kind voice of wisdom that's always been there from being a tiny toddler to now, is the true you, right? And that's what this lady points to in her post. Even, like she said, I find that my core belief is that I'm not good enough. And even though I know that's not always the case, so she's seen evidence that that's not the case. I saw evidence that I am good enough, that I do have enough qualifications, that I can come onto this screen and look at my face and be okay with it. I don't have to get caught up in critical thinking about how I look. That was my default mode for many, many, many years. Someone had said I was ugly. Well, a few people had said I was ugly, and I really hung on to that. I made it real, and I made it big, and I made it mean something about me, and I put my worth on what I perceived myself to look like. And of course, none of that stuff's true. And what this lady's saying, and what I hope that you hear in this message, is that behind all that kind of noise in your mind, there's a place where there's a knowing. Even if you don't feel that all the time, or it's very rare that you hear that kindness. There's a place of knowing that you're okay. There's a place of knowing that you're good enough. And when we get caught up in our insecure thinking and self-doubt, procrastination, although I think procrastination could probably have its whole own episode, it's just us innocently believing thoughts that aren't true. Those thoughts that you're not good enough. Those thoughts that other people have some sort of power over you by their speech. That's not true. Someone can say something mean to you, right? Which happens. I know it happens. It's happened to me loads of times. And I'm sure I've been a person who has also said mean things too. We've all been either the sort of giver or the receiver. But as the person receiving it, we can either look at that person with compassion and love and think, well, unhappy people tend to sort of spit out their unhappiness onto others and let that go. Or what we have a tendency to do is take what they've said, blow it up, give it life, and make it mean something about us. Because usually, if our core belief is that we're not good enough, we will find evidence everywhere to support that. Everywhere. And I know I did. And in my striving to be good enough, I would try different tactics, different mantras, different exercise modalities, different counseling theories, coaching theories, any which way that I could to try and sort of navigate my way out of my insecure thinking, my self-doubt. What I found works is knowing where that experience is coming from and looking somewhere else. So rather than looking at the self-doubt and putting in loads of different sort of thought patterns and speech around changing my thinking and looking at my triggers and all of that, I've just realized that actually who I am, my true self, is fundamentally okay and perfect and whole. And that's what I see in all of you. I know that it's in all of you. And I know that you have the wisdom inside of you to see something different. So I'm always going to be trying to point you upstream. And if you want to kind of know a bit more about the coaching that I do, the work that I do, the stuff that I'm doing in my groups, it's called the 3 Principles, and you can Google that and you can have a look at, there's loads of free stuff online. But essentially it's changed my life and it's allowed me to see that we're all okay, that there's something grander at play here, and that we're all deeply connected, and that we all have a spirit of wisdom inside of us. The voice of self-doubt, which can come in many forms and probably comes many times a day, is just a familiar thought pattern that we have attached to because we believe it. And it's not the truth of who you are. And a lot of us, when we have these self-doubt patterns and negative core beliefs, we can kind of act out, and it comes out sideways. So whether that be drinking or drugs or sleeping tablets or porn or shopping or hoarding, or in my case, it was face picking. We're kind of innocently looking to the outside to sort of fix what we think is wrong with us. So what I want you to know, this is only a very brief video today, is that you already are enough. To the lady who was brave and posted the question into the group, thank you, because I'm sure it's a question that so many women want the answer to. But what I want to tell you is that the answer is always within. It's always within you. It's always within you, and we complicate it by thinking there's something outside of us that can fix it. I mean, I find exercise helps, but exercise doesn't always help. And I'm not coming from that position anymore. I'm saying go and do, exercise every day. I mean, yes, I know that it creates endorphins, and yes, I know that it can have a huge impact on our sort of well-being. I equally don't think it's all down to exercise anymore. I know that it's coming from within me. That's my experience. That's where I'm coming from. So just to say thank you to you all for watching. If you did watch, thank you to the lady who had the courage to post the question in the group. If you have any questions that you want me to answer on this Friday session, please either post them in my group, She Connects, which I'll link to when the video is over. If you're in or around Cambridge on Sunday, myself and a colleague of mine, Jez, are doing Superwoman Sunday. It's this Sunday on the 11th of November. And we'd love to see it. It's 3 hours long, but you will get breaks. And we only have 4 places left, so that's pretty cool. If you want to contact me, I'll also put the link below to having a chat with me. But otherwise, I hope you have an amazing Friday. And thank you for joining me. And I will talk to you soon. Remember, you are enough. Oh, and just quickly, whilst I'm here, very exciting news. I'm getting t-shirts made, which said, I am enough. So I'm really looking forward to that. I found a wonderful woman in Norwich or in Norfolk, and you can look her up on Instagram or Facebook. She's called The Night Feed. For those of you who have smaller children, she does amazing things for families. And she's going to make me some t-shirts for my tribe. So I'm really excited about that. And I will talk to you soon. Have a great day. Lots of love. You are enough. If no one's told you today, I think you are amazing. Yeah, so do I, Pope. I'm waiting for mine to arrive. I want a t-shirt. I'm so excited. All right, take care. Bye.